That was a grown man in the stand stealing that hat from a child.
A millionaire is speaking out today after facing backlash for stealing a hat from a child at the U.S. Open this week.
What kind of grown man snatches a gift meant for a child on live TV in front of millions of people? That's exactly what set the internet on fire when a clip from the U.S. Open went viral. It all started right after Kamil Majchrzak's match at the U.S. Open. The Polish player had just pulled off a win and wanted to give back to his fans. He spotted a boy named Brock near the court, walked over, and lifted his cap toward him. It was one of those small but unforgettable fan moments. But then something no one expected happened. Before the cap reached the kid's hands, Piotr Szczurek, a Polish CEO, leaned in, grabbed it, and claimed it for himself. The boy tried to protest, but the cap was already gone. The entire thing was caught on camera, and in seconds, the clip started spreading. What made it worse was the reaction of the boy. His disappointment was clear, and the crowd knew instantly this wasn't how the moment was supposed to go. Online, the scene was replayed endlessly. People zoomed in, slowed it down, and shared it with captions calling the act greedy, shameless, and downright bizarre. By the time most people woke up the next day, nearly everyone scrolling social feeds had seen it. And the question hanging in the air was simple. Who was this man? And why would he do that? But that wasn't the whole story, because the internet didn't just stop at mocking the video, it went looking for answers. The internet doesn't rest, especially when a clip like this goes viral. Within hours, online sleuths had tracked down the man in the video. His name? Piotr Szczurek, a wealthy CEO from Poland who runs a paving company called Drogbrook. Suddenly, this wasn't just a viral clip. It was a public scandal attached to a name, a face, and a business. And with that connection, the backlash exploded. People flooded comment sections, memes started flying, and even his company's search results got Google bombed. Instead of seeing ads or normal information about his business, people searching his name were met with headlines and posts about the stolen hat. For a CEO, that's a nightmare that money can't easily fix. Meanwhile, Kamil Majchrzak, the tennis player, didn't sit back. He turned to social media and asked fans to help him track down the boy who had been left empty-handed.
Well, the tennis player did ask for the kid to be found. The kid was found, and as I understand it, he brought the kid in and made the kid whole.
That call worked. He eventually found Brock, the young fan from the clip, and made things right, meeting him in person, signing autographs, and handing over more memorabilia. The kid walked away smiling, but for the CEO, the damage was already done. And that's when the pressure turned unbearable. People weren't just angry, they wanted to hear directly from the man who grabbed the hat, and soon they would. With the internet raging and his company's name dragged through the mud, Piotr Szczurek finally broke his silence. Days after the incident, he posted a formal statement on his company's website. For many, this was the moment they had been waiting for, an explanation, an apology, maybe even some accountability. In his statement, Szczurek said he believed the hat was being handed to him, not the boy. He explained that his sons had asked for autographs earlier, and in the chaos of the crowd, he thought Majchrzak was trying to give the cap to them. He admitted it was a mistake, apologized to the boy, the family, the fans, and even the tennis player himself. But the way it was worded raised eyebrows. He described the boy as injured, which led some to think the translation might have gone sideways. Was he talking about emotional hurt, or did he actually think he'd caused physical harm? Either way, people weren't buying it. He also made a point to say something else. None of the posts floating around online, statements supposedly from him, his wife, or his lawyers, were real. He claimed he never threatened to sue critics, never posted snarky remarks, and never defended his actions in the way people were sharing. According to him, it was all fake content made to stir the drama even further. To protect his family, he even limited or disabled comments on his official post. On paper, it was the responsible move, but online, it only made people more suspicious. And that's where things got tricky, because his apology might have checked the right boxes, but the internet wasn't convinced. But that wasn't the end of the story, because when people compared his words to what they actually saw in the video, the gap was impossible to ignore. Here's the problem. The video told one story, but his apology told another. In the clips, Szczurek didn't politely reach for the cap. He snatched it. The boy pulled back and even said, "No, what are you doing?" But the man held on and ignored him. It looked deliberate. It looked greedy. Now compare that with his explanation that it was all just a misunderstanding, that he thought the cap was meant for his kids. On paper, it sounds like an easy mistake, but when people replayed the footage, that version didn't line up. If he really thought it was for him, why rip it out of a child's hands? Why ignore the boy's protests? That's why his apology fell flat. It felt less like an honest confession and more like damage control. Instead of owning what people clearly saw, he leaned on confusion and mistranslation. The gap between his words and the video made it easy for viewers to dismiss him. Reactions online summed it up. Nobody believed it was just inattention. People saw focus, intent, and even entitlement in his actions. To them, it wasn't a slip-up, it was a choice. And if that wasn't bad enough, rumors started swirling that made the whole situation even messier. As the clip kept circulating, unverified claims began to surface. Some posts said Majchrzak snapped at the boy, allegedly telling him, if you were faster, you would have it. Others claimed he or his legal team threatened to take action against anyone criticizing him online. These statements spread quickly, shared across forums and Twitter as if they were fact. But here's the catch. Majchrzak denied all of it. He said those quotes didn't come from him, his wife, or his lawyers. And to be fair, news outlets that covered the incident also flagged these posts as unverified. In other words, they could just be made-up lines that people pushed to get clicks or stir outrage. Still, by the time he clarified, the damage was already done. Memes and angry comments don't pause for fact checks. His name was now tied not only to the video, but also to a flood of wild rumors. And that's a storm few reputations can survive. Meanwhile, the business impact was real. His company's search results got hijacked by the scandal, with memes and negative headlines overtaking his brand online, even though he insisted he had spent years supporting kids and athletes through community initiatives. One viral clip undid all of that in the public eye. And while Majchrzak moved on with his tournament, before eventually retiring due to an injury, the video lived on, replayed endlessly as a lesson in how one moment can redefine someone's entire image. The story could have ended with the apology, but instead it became about how fast reputations can collapse. In the end, what was supposed to be a simple fan moment turned into a global spectacle. A boy went home disappointed, a tennis player had to step in to fix things, and a millionaire CEO found himself in the middle of a scandal. His apology may have checked the right boxes, but the video told its own story. And for most people, that story was impossible to ignore. What stands out isn't just the act of grabbing a hat, it's how fast the internet reacted, how quickly internet sleuths uncovered his name, and how rumors, true or not, fueled the fire. In just a few days, his reputation shifted from a businessman to viral villain. It also raises a bigger question. If cameras hadn't been rolling, if millions of eyes hadn't been watching, would there have been an apology at all? Or would the moment have disappeared like so many others that never make it online? One thing's clear. In the digital age, even the smallest choices can define you. For Majchrzak, a single grab at the US Open became the moment that reshaped how the world sees him. So, what do you think? Was this really just a misunderstanding blown out of proportion, or a rare glimpse of someone's true character caught on camera? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.